Let me explain something to you that every soldier understands, every commander, every leader worth following. Leadership starts with the mission. You decide what you're trying to achieve, you define the desired end state, next you build a plan, and only then do you start leading people towards it. That mission in politics is called a manifesto. Now, you don't get elected on vibes, you don't get elected on improvisation. You get elected by very clearly telling the public, this is what we will do, this is why we will do it, and this is where it will lead. Now, here's the important part. Any good leader understands that a plan can change. You get new intelligence, new conditions, unforeseen consequences. Listen carefully. You amend the plan, not the mission. You adapt the route, not the destination. And what you absolutely do not do is change the mission halfway through and pretend that was always the plan. That's not leadership, it's abject failure. And this is exactly what Labour's been doing since it's come to power. They've not adjusted tactics, they haven't refined delivery, they've changed the mission, abandoned the plan, lost control of the team. And let's look at the evidence. This isn't opinion or rhetoric, it is just facts. Since taking office, Labour has performed a series of major U-turns. Not little tweaks, not refinements, but full retreats. And here's some of the most significant, starting with the most recent, the mandatory digital ID for workers. We didn't hear about this during the manifesto, but then all of a sudden it was thrown upon us and it was like going to be the solution to all of life's ills. Most importantly, it was going to solve the immigration crisis. And then it is actually a core plank of their authoritarian governance model. And they said that you needed to have mandatory digital identification to work in Britain. Then came the backlash. Then came the civil liberty concerns, operational chaos, and suddenly the policy's been watered down, softened, effectively abandoned. They may try it again in the future, but it's not looking good. That's not adapting a plan. That is changing the plan and then literally within months backtracking again. That's realising that you've never even understood the mission in the first place. Then we had the pub tax, so the business rates and everything that was going to impact the evening entertainment industry. Labour's talking tough, promising reform, promising fairness. Then the proposed increases, it was determined, would actually cripple pubs and hospitality. And, wherever you live in the country, you'll see that they're shutting down at a rapid rate, even quicker than they have done in the last decade or so. But this time, the reaction's been immediate. There's been public outrage and industrial revolt across the whole of the publican industry. So again, they've reversed course, reinstated the relief and backed away quietly. No foresight, no leadership, just like an impulse reaction, knee-jerk. I think right at the beginning of their tenure, it was the winter fuel payments for the pensioners. First of all, they restricted the eligibility, whilst at the same time in the media, they just throw